MeTV 24 Meridian proudly presents your favorite way to start the day. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Candace.
Good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray along with Candace. And if this is your first time, welcome.
Yes. Glad to have you this morning.
One of the few places you can join us online and talk to us as we're live on television as well. You can find us Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
Yeah.
Pick you a channel, watch, or right here on MeTV. It's a lot of fun this morning.
Yeah, we're live 8 a.m. every morning, just every day.
I don't know the details, but have you ever been mad at somebody so bad that you wanted to chase them?
Yeah.
Like maybe around a parking lot? Like they get out of the car and you lock it and you swing around, chase them a little bit?
I've wanted to throw somebody out of my car before. Yeah.
Well, that kind of happened last night, just around 10 o'clock in the parking lot there, Walmart there on 39. A little disagreement amongst some folks that witnessed it. They called the popo. By the time the police arrived, they had settled their differences and fled the scene. But she was mad at him.
I bet.
So bad that she wanted to chase him with the car.
Oh.
I honestly have never been that angry at anyone that I wanted to do that.
No. I have wanted, like I said, though, to put someone out of my car, and I might have done that once or twice.
Slam on brakes, get out now.
Yep. Yeah, get out.
Walk.
Get out of my car. Yep.
It's amazing.
Not lately.
The arguments that happen between, especially husbands and wives.
Yeah.
That is a.
Yeah.
That's where I would not fare well as a. You think about that. Y'all think about being a cop. You have to kind of be like the referee of folks arguing all day, and then you go home and you get yelled at. Can you imagine?
Oh yeah.
You'd want to
that would
like
probably,
cuff and stuff your spouse.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Time out.
Yeah.
I would imagine it's hard to turn the job off when you get home when somebody's yakking at you like that.
Yeah. I think I've realized that life's too short to live miserable. So, yeah.
Just
get along. Get along. It's a lot easier.
It sure is. Get along, hold hands, and smile.
Yeah.
If you're not happy, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't either. Pray. A lot of prayer.
And I made a comment on a friend of mine's Facebook page this week, and she has yet to reply to it.
Really?
She got married to my neighbor, and I was real happy for her. And I just simply put on her Facebook, don't forget to cancel your subscription to Farmers Only.
Oh.
And she ain't replied yet. I think she's mad at me.
Gosh.
I was pulling for her the whole time.
Really?
Yeah. FarmersOnly.com.
All that online dating stuff, I don't know. I never did any of that. But some of my clients, I've had people in my chair talking about it before, and I don't know. That's just scary to me.
Well,
I would be sure to get a serial killer.
Well, supposedly it's from people from your area, but not always, I guess.
Yeah, not always.
You can, what is it, eHarmony? You also have, you even have the Christian singles. I think that's one. It's different ones, I guess, that maybe suit your lifestyle.
But you never know. It could say Christian singles, but you never know what you're getting on the other end of that
You don't even know what you're getting when you know them.
Right. It's just scary. People meeting in like secluded areas or something, or I don't know. That's just scary to me.
Like you can be married for somebody 20 years and then they go flop. Just like the guy, y'all get this. I brought this up this morning at during the 6:30 newscast. He was a little older than his wife. He was 82 years old. She was 68. And something, I don't know how long they've been married, but it sounded like a good while there. And she might have snapped just a little bit, and she was going to drink some Clorox. He attempted to stop her. She didn't like that. She picked up a butcher knife and stabbed him. Police arrived. He was able to tell him what happened before he passed away. She killed him. Just like that.
Well, if you're going to drink Clorox, I question your mental capabilities.
Yeah. But that happened
that's kind of scary.
Directly across the Mississippi line there at Memphis just a day or so ago.
Goodness. It's awful.
We did have some gunshots last night. Very few, though. It has been some kind of calm here lately. As we say, shots were fired in the 1100 block of 45th Avenue. That would be just south of Highland Park. And, you really have to feel for people that live in that neighborhood. This has gotten to be a constant, you put it probably 6-7 miles around Highland Park constantly, a little something like that going on all the time.
Yeah.
You buy your home, you're on a fixed income, you can't move anymore, and you're stuck with what goes on.
Yeah. It's a scary thing to have to live like that, live around, and it's sad. Like you said, I mean, it's unfair. Of course, people who do that kind of thing, they're disrespectful. So I mean, it's really not going to matter to them. But I don't know. I think people like playing with guns all the time, slap them in a uniform and send them overseas to fight for the country.
Yeah, that'll give you an attitude adjustment, won't it?
Mm-hmm. That's a little rehabilitation for you.
Out on Highway 80 West yesterday afternoon. This doesn't happen often in our area, but it did happen. I don't think they've caught them. They had someone run a school bus sign where the school bus stops and the arm goes out. They were driving a silver RAV4 out on Highway 80 West. Shame, shame. You could hurt someone. No one was injured in that, but it still happened. If you see something like that, report it, get a tag number, because we don't need our children hurt by any means of the imagination. JT Rigdon, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. You don't.
Yeah, that's right. And speaking on the dating thing, like this might be what he's referring to too. I don't know, but you never know if the picture that you're seeing is what you're going to get. What do they call that? Catfishing?
Filters. Yeah.
Catfishing. Or I guess that's what it's called. I don't know. I've watched those shows though where they go to meet and it's like totally not that person. Well,
guys are just as bad about it. And I joked about the women using the filters, but guys will use somebody else's totally different picture.
Right.
You go back to Brad Paisley's Online. Remember that song? He lives in his mama's basement, really.
Yeah.
But online, he's 6'4", drives a Maserati.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that does happen.
Scary stuff.
I would never be good at that. I just can't tell fibs.
That just was never my thing.
Dating?
Online dating stuff. That was not.
They didn't even have computers when you were dating. I hate to tell you this.
I
called her out.
Yeah. But, even...
What Candace is actually referring to is back in our day when we dated, it was called a blind date.
Right.
You remember those?
Yeah, where you could get a phone call from one of your friends.
Yeah.
Go, really? I've got to come get you. I'm sorry, I got to go.
Bill said he actually used his picture was his problem.
Goodness.
Oh, there's always, and there is really some funny stories that have come out of those online dates and dating in general. Because, the first couple of dates you don't know and you're trying to figure out who they are and if they got a little cray-cray in them. Yeah,
can you imagine you see it in the movies a lot, where you're sitting there and you've met somebody or the two people get together and they're eating and then one has to go to the bathroom and they never come back.
Yeah. Whoops.
That'd be bad. Yeah.
But funny stories that do go on around with dating. And then, sometimes you're married 30 years before you find out something, 20 years, 10 years. It really is probably in a 5-year. Because we did a podcast on a girl that had been married 5 years, and she found out that her husband was had this criminal past that he had never told her about. He'd been to jail the whole 9 yards and never said a word. And then her thing was, what do I do? Do you forgive and go on? Well, I guess it's 5 years he hadn't done it, but... Yeah. A little too late.
I've heard all kind of, as a hairstylist, you hear all kind of stuff.
I bet you do.
I've heard of people being married for years and then you come home and
they're gone.
Your husband's dressing in your lingerie.
Really?
I've heard all kind of stuff. Yeah.
What's the name for that?
I don't know. Confused, maybe.
that guy that was always the opposite of Clint Eastwood in the karate shows, David Carradine. He died in a closet, wearing women's clothes.
Really?
Yeah. I think the word for it is some form of fetish. I think whoever he was playing characters with hung him.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
And it didn't work out for him.
Lord.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be a bad way to die?
That would be bad.
Like forever, everybody, when they bring up your name, goes, that's the dude died in the ladies'
Yeah.
Hey, we got a great picture yesterday. We want to say thank you. This came in from the Mississippi River. I brought this up early, but isn't the mighty Mississippi a gorgeous place?
That is so pretty. It looks like a postcard.
It does. Now, this morning, as SpaceX was going up and all the trails that are out there, let me show you a few of the pictures that came in this morning. I have to zoom in on this for this to look right. Here's a picture here, and let's zoom in on this a little bit better right there. This came in from Jasper County. That's Jupiter, that's Venus, and that's that trail there. Just so absolutely gorgeous. Did I actually show the picture?
No.
There we go. There it is. There's Jupiter and Venus. Isn't that just
Yeah, and I guess
beautiful?
that's the moon over there, right?
Yeah.
That is so pretty, though. I think it's neat that you could see that from our area.
We also got a picture. This is from out at the Spaceway. Let me zoom in on this so we can see this picture a little bit better. This is just getting on I-20 this morning. Here it is. Look at that.
That is so neat.
I like pictures.
I do too.
It always captures that moment and holds it still for a moment there. I even got one. This was out in Meehan this morning. We got a picture here. Whoop, got to zoom in on it too.
Look, you can see the full circle of the moon.
Yeah, that little outline
Really-
right there.
Yeah. That's really neat. I have a picture somewhere. I've got to find it where I took a picture of the sunset, but it had the sunset with the sun, and then it had the moon all in one. The moon
How'd
had
that
started
happen?
coming out. I don't know, but it was all in one picture.
How long ago was that?
That's been years ago, but it was taken right here in y'all's driveway when I was
Really?
picking I was picking Alden up.
Well, you have to bring
I have
that.
to find it. It's on one of my phones, so I think it's on my last phone.
I don't guess I've ever had that.
It's really neat.
As Beverly Massey said, that's the contrail from the SpaceX that took off. And that's right. It took off. Beautiful to see all of that. Elon
really
Musk,
neat.
very busy fella these days. That's a few of the things that's happening early. We'll get into some more of the local events that are happening all around us. So don't rush off. We want you to know all about what's happening this morning. Let's talk about Chet. We've heard us talking about him before, but we bring him back up because he's so good at what he does. If you've had an injury to your car, that's a new way of putting it. A little bump, a little ding. See Chet, they'll put it back to the way it was. They are really professionals at what they do. They don't tamper with anything they don't know about. They know about cars, dents, and things of that nature. They'll fix it, put you back in the road, take care of it. Of course, here's a truck that's been hit, side swipe. That's going to happen. You'll have that. Front end is probably one of the most common places things happen to.
Yeah.
Those bumpers get dented. There's a lot of those. See Chet's Paint and Body. Find out why so many people use them. Word of mouth, it travels fast. Sometimes when it's good, it takes a long time for it to ever do it. You're not going to hear anything bad about Chet because he takes care of things. His word is his bond. You'll see him there. 737-2961. Drop in. They'll process that insurance work for you. Free quote. Doesn't cost anything. See what the fuss is all about. It's Chet's Paint and Body. Again, you'll find them out right out here in Center Hill. See them today. They'll help you out.
At the Back Porch, we're bringing families back together for fun, food, and all the things you love to enjoy around your home. Every event starts with a great grill, great cookware, and accessories. Add in some locally sourced meat and dairy, along with frozen vegetables and casseroles, and over 500 brands of spices and sauces. Relax in our chairs, swings, day beds, and have fun with our cornhole boards. From coolers to trailers, we have everything you need. When you see the big chair, you've made it to the Back Porch.
It's a scientific fact. When faced with the question of wanting more or less money, people will choose more money every time.
The large pile?
I'm attorney Richard Schwartz. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, why choose less? Call me, and I'll get the money you really deserve. Why pick less when you can get more?
He got me more.
Much more than I expected.
You can't argue with science. Call me. One call, that's all.
Welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace. Wednesday, hump day. Middle of the week, aren't you so
I
tickled?
know. 2 days away from the weekend. I'm ready. I'm ready for some pretty weekend weather.
Hey, there was a rumor that a lady was running around in curlers in your car yesterday. What's the deal with that?
She wasn't in curlers. One of my friends came yesterday to get her hair done. She was getting her hair highlighted. So she had foil all up in her head. And I said, yeah, I'm starving. I had not eaten lunch. It was like after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I said, I'm going to go pick up something. And I said, you want to ride with me? And she goes, like this? I said, oh, yeah. I said, I'll just wrap a towel around it and clip it. We'll go. So we did. And she had her big sunglasses on. She looked like Miss Hollywood. And, she said, I'm incognito.
See,
I said, I just hope we don't have a wreck.
That'd be bad to show up.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Everybody know you. But I skipped lunch yesterday about 2 o'clock, and I thought about it, and I said, well, if I eat now, then I won't want supper. So I skipped it. Boy, was that a mistake. I was like hungry all afternoon.
Yeah, and I ate supper last night before I went to bed. I woke up starving this morning. Of course, I still haven't eaten anything, so.
Bless you. Get on that. Hey, we got some good mornings, Candace.
Yes, we do. John Mitchell, they're in Collinsville at Mitchell Tire.
Hey,
good
John.
morning. Yeah.
Knew him back when he was at Kmart. Now he's got his own business.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
That's right. Nice people. Les Alexander, April Roberts, good morning. She's in Missouri this morning. Les is in Stark Vegas. Joseph Gordy in York, Alabama, and Terry Lott. Good morning.
Let's see, from Kemper County, Gina Paget, if I'm pronouncing your name right. Glad to have you, Gina. Good to
Yes.
see you there.
Lita Jo Horn, she's saying good morning this morning from Meridian. Denny Bryan, good morning. Amanda Heiser, LaWanda Grantham, Margie Lancaster's a bunch on this morning.
Yeah.
Jean Hines, good morning to you. Anitra Humphreys, good morning. She's in the House community this morning.
Good place to be up there.
JT Rigdon, also good morning. And Bill Reinhardt, he's in DeKalb. He's a daily watcher. Good morning, Bill.
Oh, Jessica up. I saw Jessica yesterday afternoon down at Rodney's Muffler. She's doing good.
Yeah. Wayne and Dolores Roberts, good morning to y'all. They watch every day also.
Hey, we got an email from the Meridian Police Department, so we quickly threw this out there on our webpage so everybody could see it. If you go to sammedia.network, find out who just got arrested. Well, let's just go ahead and take a look at that so everybody will know. Here we go. They've made a murder charge. And how do you pronounce his first name?
I think it's Jacavion.
Jacavion has been arrested. Criminal CID has made charges against him with murder of Daquan Martin, if I pronounced that one right there. Martin was reported missing on August 27th of 20. His body was found in September. His bond's been set at $1 million. Also charged with possession of stolen property. The bond for that's $50,000. Pretty serious charges there.
Yeah.
Doesn't look real happy about where he is up against the blue wall. And he shouldn't be. Murder. Took him 2 years, but they got him. That's the important thing there.
Yeah.
As the process works.
Now, were the other two previously arrested at the bottom? Honorius
Yes.
Campbell and my son Mosley. They
Yes.
were previously. Okay.
We a few weeks ago
Yeah.
we posted that.
Yeah.
So as the wheel turns, they're glad to see somebody behind bars for murder. Anytime that we can solve a murder in our area, I support all of that.
When you take somebody's life,
Oh.
I mean, you need to be behind bars. I'm sorry.
Yes, I agree with that 120% there. Let's see what else we got stirring here. This was the day, do y'all remember back in 2011, of the big tornado outbreaks? They began out to our west on the 25th, and this would move through our area and on toward Tuscaloosa. And before it was all said and done, I want to say it was 200 and something lives that were lost, 300. Claimed over 300 lives, injured
Goodness.
2,775, where it went down McFarland Boulevard and just tore up.
Yes.
Weather Channel reminded me of that this morning. Always respect these tornadoes. We're here for you anytime, day or night. When it happens, we'll go live to tell you more about it when they do happen.
Right.
We had a mishap overnight on I-20. This was near the Pilot truck stop. This would be a FedEx truck that had a, we will just call it a mishap, a boo-boo.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Gosh.
okay. But it did happen overnight there. Didn't last long. They got the interstate cleaned up and went right on about business.
Scary right there.
Yeah, almost looks like maybe he was wanting to turn around in the middle of the interstate.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't know what that was about.
Scary.
Don't know how long he'd been on the job. If you are into this, we got this message yesterday afternoon. I'm getting a lot of feedback on this. This apparently is huge in our area.
It is. It's a real big deal. They're having the Mississippi Antique Alley. It's going to be May 12th through the 15th. And, you know, this is 20 years they're celebrating.
Yeah.
And it's along the southern route.
Yeah, it goes from Meridian to Bristol, Virginia.
Yes.
Whoop, whoop. So, and I know one of the churches, and I don't have it in front of me, that had emailed me and told me that they would have a booth set up. So we wish everybody luck that does this. Are you a big flea market type?
I do like flea markets. You can find really neat stuff at a flea market.
So check it out. Miles and miles of this if you want to go take advantage of all of this.
I love to get to walk through and see stuff that I recognize from maybe my childhood.
Yeah.
You know, like toys that people have put in there or things for your house that maybe my mother had in our house, you know, that's like my mother's stuff that we had.
Right.
You know, it's just really neat. Kind of takes you back. But
Now, I threw this out there last night because I've been watching this, and I haven't said a whole lot about it. But each day, as we watch this, Johnny Depp is on trial. He's suing that lady that he was married to. And from what I understand, she kind of wooed him, took him from his wife. He got married to her, and then he found out, as we talked about a minute ago, she was cray-cray.
Yeah.
As we go to the page here, I posted this picture of him and his monkey. Do y'all remember when she made the accusation? Disney fired him without any investigation. Got rid of all of the black. See, what was the name of the character he played there?
It was a pirate.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the name is.
Blank at the second here.
Yeah.
Captain James Sparrow.
Yeah, that's right.
The Black Pearl. But they fired him without any investigation because she accused him of hitting her. And it turns out she's the one, if you've watched any of this trial.
Yeah.
And I asked the question last night, did Disney treat him fairly? Overwhelmingly, every remark here as you go down here and read this on Facebook says that he was not treated fairly. You know, and she even done that stuff in his bed that I won't even go into. She had problems. Her psychiatrist testified that she had 2, maybe 3 different personalities.
Yeah, I did
and
see
Disney
that. Fired
him without ever finding out if that was during that Me Too movement, let's fire the man moment.
Yeah, I watched a little snippet on, I think on Fox. Maybe they had a little segment showing his testimony. It's kind of odd. The whole situation is just odd to me. They're both very odd people.
Well, he's admitted, yeah, I've got a few problems. I've had some drinking and drug problems, but this is not who I am now, and that she was bad for him.
They said that, though, that in the courtroom, I listened to a lady that was in the courtroom watching. She said in the courtroom, he would testify something, and then he would look over, and they'd smirk at each other. And they said almost like they were kind of getting a high from
He doesn't
the
like
situation.
her.
It's just weird to me. It's odd.
Have you seen this? And they showed the pictures of it to where they said she's a copycat. To where if you wear a type of clothing, and then the next day she was wearing what Johnny was wearing.
Yeah, she looks like she's dressed. Yesterday, she looked like she was dressed like Miss Olsen on the wall, on the Little House on the Prairie. Like the sleeves and the shirt. It looked like one of those. Like Miss Olsen shirts.
Donna Sims watching us from Philadelphia. Thank you. And we do have a lot of pirate fans.
Yeah.
That was a big franchise.
He played a very good part in that. Now he is a good actor. I think the first time I ever saw him as an actor was on Nightmare on Elm Street. I want to say he was the guy. He had the Letterman's jacket. He was that type guy, and he was somebody's boyfriend. He's the one that got snatched down into the waterbed, I think.
Wasn't he also in Johnny Scissorhands?
Yeah, Edward Scissorhands.
Edward.
Yeah.
Johnny,
Yeah.
Edward. I mean, come on. I was close enough.
Yeah. Anyway, but he's played
Made a
in a lot.
boo-boo of that one, didn't I?
Well, it's okay. Maybe he was Johnny in Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't know. I can't remember his name, but
I can remember watching that movie and going, ring what the point of this is.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have that, I wonder what the point of that movie was.
yeah, it's that's odd. Maybe.
But he did hit a home run with all those pirate shows, the Black Pearl, and the Monkey. I enjoyed all of that. Hope you did too. As we look around other things that are occurring today, we mentioned that's going to be happening. Don't forget, we'll have long before we get ready for the big doings out in Collinsville. That's coming up. Secret Service is what I wanted to bring up next. We all realize that it does cost something to protect the president's family, and you have to do that. From their immediate family members have to be protected because somebody could take them hostage and hold it against a sitting president.
Right.
Do you know the Secret Service is paying to rent a hotel, or we'll call it a mansion or a place to stay next to Hunter Biden? Now, this isn't including all the expenses, just to rent the building?
To protect him.
You're right. $30,000 a month just to rent the thing, not to mention all the food and everything that goes around this. Now, this is nothing new. Each family has these expenses, but it sure is a lot. Let me shock you as you go. You remember the name, this guy, Mike Pompeo, who was the State Department head, Secretary of State? Do you know what it costs to protect him a month? Let me scare you as an Americans of what your tax dollars go for. $2 million a month is what it costs to protect him. Now, he was a high-ranking official, and they have to protect him 24/7. $2 million a month.
They said another $175,000 is being spent to protect former Iran envoy Brian Hook.
Brian Hook.
I don't know who that is, but
A lot of money there. And that's just part of it. And then you go back to every president that ever existed. You remember the movie? What was it? Guarding Tess, that had Nicolas Cage in there? Pretty good little movie there. But if you wanted to know where your tax dollars are being spent, that's where part of it goes there.
Yeah.
Truth Social is still number one of downloads. They ain't got it working yet, but Donald Trump holds it at the top, even over Twitter, and the word of downloads of people putting it on their phone. It's going to be big. I haven't done it yet.
You know, yesterday also I was I was listening to a newscast, and they were talking about how really he needs Donald Trump on Twitter.
Yeah.
You know, it would boost his ratings on Twitter or viewers or whatever.
Donald says he's not doing it.
Yeah.
And this is why, because he's going to be on Truth Social.
But can't you see him going, you know what, I will be on it if you'll give me a part in the share of it.
I could see him doing something like
You
that.
see him like, you'll make me a partner. Yeah.
Donald.
I'll be on it.
How big will Truth Social be? We don't know. It's all in the works. We don't really know how it works. A few people have gotten accepted. We'll take a close look on this.
Yeah.
This was a headline, and a British reporter was trying to run down America about guns. They went into a Walmart and took a snapshot, and then they wrote this big article about how you can buy a gun here and there and the other. They failed to notice that in their article that they wrote, there was a BB gun that they took a picture of. Egg on your face, and Twitter lit up saying that is why y'all lost the war. Y'all don't know anything. Thought I'd share that little moment there with you. It does happen there. Let's see here. Don Jr., as we talk about all this Twitter, and they're saying, am I saying the word right? Algorithm? How do you say that word? Algorithms?
I think it's algorithm, but yeah.
I'm beating around the bush of what it's called.
You're right at it, yeah.
Facebook does it. Every one of these do it to where they slow down, they add to or whatever. Don Jr.'s numbers are going berserk. Also, as you look at, they're adding up quickly for Tucker Carlson. As before, it was like you couldn't find them on there.
Yeah.
Now, after there's new ownership, it's easing off and people are flocking to it. See, will it change things or not? Somebody will test it and see if it actually is free speech or not.
Right. I hope it turns around, and especially here with elections coming up. You know.
I was trying to find the story, and it dealt with Facebook and the others. I think I'm getting close to where this is down here. No, I don't have it. But basically what they were saying on Facebook, if you posted anything about Biden that was negative, it got thrown down. They looked at the numbers. It was 621 different things so far that they viewed as damaging, and you shouldn't be tweeting it, and you were either blocked or put in FaceTime jail. And the same thing with Twitter. They were doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Does anybody agree with any of that?
I don't agree with it. But, you know, a lot of stuff that has been said in the past that they took down and, oh, that's not true. Now it's come to light that, yeah, it was true the whole time.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that are floating around that they think the American people are just ignorant to the fact that these things are happening. But I think people have known for a long time that there was some shady stuff going on.
Here's
when Biden was even vice president.
An example of everything that is out there, not truly where they take a little bit of the truth and they stretch it.
Yeah.
There was a doctor that was on, this was on Twitter, I think, yeah. She was tweeting about how she was on the front lines with COVID every day out there and how horrible things were. Well, after they've investigated this, guess what they've come to find out?
What?
She was a school nurse. She worked Monday through Friday. The only time that she was actually associated with the hospital that she mentioned was when she went through her med school.
Okay.
She was not fighting it every day, and she didn't have to walk everywhere in a mask. She blew it up, and then as they dug into this, her other social media, she was on the beach.
Yeah.
It was nothing like she had pretended to be. So sometimes it's not everything that meets the eye. Just keep that in mind when you read stories of there could be, what's the old saying? There's two sides to everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Something to keep in mind there. Already Wednesday, as we warm up, it was chilly this morning, folks. 48 degrees as you got up.
It was chilly.
But as we look at radar right now, there is absolutely nothing on it. All clear. And as we glance ahead, what's the weather going to be doing over the next few days? Let's show you that forecast. It's not bad. Look at that. We're warming up into the 80s over the weekend.
So storms on Sunday?
We got some rain coming in, 40 to 50% predicted Sunday afternoon. So I'll be ready for that. Nothing major at this point. I haven't heard any of that, but it is some rain along the way of coming.
Yes.
So be prepared. We got more on the way with Scotty Ray and Candace. We're so glad that you're being a part of it with us this morning.
Yes.
The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville has these great savings this week. Idaho potatoes, a 8-pound bag, $3.99. Fresh blueberries, $3.99. Dixie Crystal Sugar, a 4-pound bag, only $2.39. Coca-Cola products, 12-pack, 12-ounce cans, 2 for $11. Brine Wieners, $1.69 for a 12-ounce package. And certified Angus beef top sirloin steak, $6.29 a pound.
And we're down home, down the street, Piggly Wiggly.
H&H Residential of Meridian is your #1 carpet and flooring store. If you've been thinking of a new look for your home or office, call for a free estimate or consultation. H&H can install or you can do it yourself. H&H has all of your design needs from color, style, and texture. If you can dream it, H&H can make it a reality. Come see the large selection of hardwood flooring, laminate, vinyl, and even carpet. H&H Residential of Meridian, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, 321 Hawkins Crossing Road. Call Rosemary anytime, 601-462-9541.
And we say good morning to Margot Summerall watching from Matherville. Thank you. Do appreciate that.
Yeah. We're just discussing where Matherville is.
I have to Google that, exactly where Matherville is.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. Uses a formula to calculate, as Margie Lancaster was talking about the algorithm.
Yeah, algorithms.
Why don't they make it simpler for me to say?
Just say al-go-rhythm.
And Margie also says there's actually 3 sides to a situation. My side, your side, and the right side.
Yeah, that's right.
I agree with that.
Have you heard the different stories going around about, like, Biden says that he didn't know anything about his son's business deals, that he never discussed it with his son. But now they found where one of Hunter's business partners had attended or had come to the White House when Biden was vice president.
Well, it's a lot deeper.
Like 8 times already they've found out.
I want to say I got some news stories about that. It's a lot.
So you probably have a lot more.
It's a lot more to that. There's that criticism thing there, but it's a lot deeper than that with the emails that get into all of that.
I'm sure there is a lot more to it.
All right, well, let's step back and look at a few things that happened on today. 1822, what went on? This old boy was born.
U.S. Grant.
Yeah, she doesn't look real happy in that picture, does she? I never met her myself, but she seemed a little grumpy there. No wonder he had a drink all the time.
Yeah, she looks like he might have just said something ugly to her or something. I don't know.
What he was saying was, is the war over? I got to come back? Yeah, U.S. Grant. 1865 on this date. As most Americans think, well, the Titanic was probably the worst thing that we've ever had happen. Not true if you go back in history and you go back to Sultania. It was returning Union soldiers. And the person, as we pull this up, was greedy. There's no other way to word this of what happened here. All these soldiers were returning. They got paid X amount of dollars per soldier to return them from the United States government. They overpacked the steamboat. Way too many people. It was more than it could handle, and it exploded from trying to pull the weight of it. 1,800 people perished as they tried to swim across the Mississippi to make it to the shore. There were almost 2,500 souls on board. 1,800 died.
Oh, my goodness.
As parole POWs on their way home. Again, that did happen there. Horrible, horrible. You'll recognize this guy's picture. You may not know the name, but you go, oh, I've seen him on Columbo. I've seen him on the Love Boat. Jack Klugman was born on this date. Y'all remember him?
Yeah, I do remember him.
Yeah, I would have never known his name, but he almost looks like one of those medical. I think he was on a bunch of medical shows also. Guest appearances there. He was born on this date back in 22.
I do remember him, though. Yeah.
1932, this voice you would know forever. You would grow to hear him on Sundays mostly, is when the countdowns were played. But Casey Kasem was born today. He would lead you through the top, what was it, the top 40?
Yeah, America's top 40. And then also he was the voice of Scooby-Doo and Shaggy.
Yeah, born on this date. His family had a big argument there at the end of who got what. Always make sure you got a will, because people fight. It's human nature. Quincy.
That is where, I remember watching Quincy. That's where the guy, I kept thinking, where have I seen him? What show was he in? Yeah.
Quincy, that was it. I forgot all about that TV show. He was a coroner. Quincy. I'm glad y'all said that. Sheena Easton. Anybody remember her? I want to say she done a duet with Kenny Rogers, if I'm not mistaken. Born in 1959. She was big during the 80s.
Yes. Is this a recent picture of her?
Within the last 10 years.
Okay.
I can't guarantee.
Lady.
Can't guarantee, but she had that look of that. Just says, whoop, wrong picture, wrong one. Here it is, right there. That had that 80s workout look.
Yeah, she was kind of like in the Pat Benatar years, right?
Hit me with your best shot.
Yeah.
Look at me knowing a rock and roll song. I feel like I'm somebody. The Odd Couple, Rosemary Hill said, I forgot about The Odd Couple. But he is such a familiar face that
Yeah.
What was it that I saw? I'm trying to think of the episode that I saw last night. It'll come to me here in just a second. Had a little moral to a story there. I never saw this show in my life. I do know the name, but I've never, ever sat down and watched the episode of it. 1966, this would be the last day that it aired, The Patty Duke Show. Mm-hmm. Do you ever watch it?
I've seen reruns of it, I
ain't never seen a rerun. Never watched it. Bad on my part, I guess. But she was big in her day. Mm-hmm. Good morning, Deborah McKee. Glad to see you there.
Yeah.
Good morning from the Carnival ship Valor. Jackie Golf watching us there from the ship. Glad to have you there.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Being on a Carnival cruise ship.
Scott said that about Jackie was CSI before there was CSI. Mm-hmm. Good way of putting it there. I think everybody at some point has watched this. The last episode, 1971, this aired. Green Acres was over after this. Ebb would go home and, they'd have to do something with the tractor.
Yeah, I used to watch this all the time.
Haney? Mm-hmm. Wasn't that his name?
Haney, Mr. Haney.
Mr. Haney, and that voice was very irritating.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it was a little irritating, but yeah, he was always fun. Now, was he the one that always had the pig?
Yeah. And he was always renting him something or selling him something at a high rate.
Yeah. And the other guy that's in the middle, in the back, the tall guy, he's from Mississippi.
Yeah.
And he had passed away just a few years back, right?
Yeah, we had
talked
him.
about that the other day.
Yeah, sure did. Mm-hmm. But how time flies.
It does.
And most people, as you look at today's TV shows, we're just not as connected to the TV shows as everybody once was, like they are here on MeTV, and the shows that became part of your family. So maybe it's so many choices, or maybe they're not as wholesome as they used to be. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Yeah. I think people love to go back and watch these type shows because now everything you turn on is inappropriate for a kid to be in the room to watch most of the time. I don't know. My son, I've started turning the old ones on for him and he loves them. He loves the Andy Griffith Show and we watched the Green Acres Show when we were
admit
camping.
it, you ain't got cable and that's all you can pick up.
No, seriously. We don't, I don't have cable, but yeah, we can catch all those old shows.
Oh, I know what I saw yesterday. The very first episode where Ellie appeared, the druggist, on Andy Griffith, and where the little old lady got deathly ill because Ellie wouldn't give her medication. She'd come in and get a dime and she'd get her pills off the counter. And she told her she had to have a prescription for it and she wouldn't give the little lady. So she goes home and she's dying and everybody's cooking and bringing her food. And it ends up being that it was just sugar pills. It was nothing to the pills, but in her mind, it made her well. And that was the moral to the story. It was cute. 1971, you'd be, as we talk about, being in that grocery line, or maybe you sent your spouse to go pick this up for you. 1971, that's what was on the cover of the TV guide. Little Joe, Hoss, and the whole gang there. This was apparently after Adam had come off of the show.
Michael Landon?
It was. I was more of your Little Joe fan as a kid. I liked his horse as a kid.
Yeah.
But Hoss had a good heart. Loved that show. Hop singing the whole 9 yards. Trisha Yearwood in 2001 would have a road named after her. I almost said that backwards there. But 01, she got it on. Right there, the Trisha Yearwood Parkway. Pretty big honor to have something like that named after you. Feel like you've done a lot there.
It is. It's a big honor.
When he said that was a redneck show. But even though talking about Green Acres was a redneck show, it hit with millions of Americans.
Right.
It stuck. They liked it.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. There. Sugar pills, Jessica, she got on top of that. She knew where that was going. And Ebb was from Mississippi.
They said he was a school teacher also.
Didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Learned a little something. In 2009, we would find out that GM was no longer going to make this. It's over. You can't find one anywhere. It was one of the oldest car lines that they had, but the Pontiac would be no more. After today, they announced it was gone. We wouldn't get a Trans Am ever again.
My uncle had one. It was pretty, too.
Should have bought one of those when people didn't think they were still cool. The 1977 Trans Am was it. You can get into the 80s, but they don't hold the value that the Bandit.
He had one. It had T-tops, and there's a picture somewhere with my mother back then in a swimsuit standing next to it.
Well, bring it. Let's share it. Let's make a star out of your mama.
Kill me.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. She was always...
Well, and I don't know if you about it, but your mother was absolutely gorgeous. Your mama was a knockout. Probably still is. She's been hiding from me lately.
She's still pretty. Yeah, I did her hair yesterday, so...
Let's see. We woke up in 2011. What was the number one song? Jason Aldean had it, and it was My Kind of Party, number one. Yep. I'm still trying to get used to him wearing an earring. He can sing. Yeah. I just hadn't got used to that part
Have you
yet.
met him?
Yes.
Is he nice?
Real nice guy. Okay. Extremely. If you remember when we brought him to town, he went out to eat. He hung out in all the local bars in Meridian till daylight.
Okay.
Enjoyed himself in Meridian, Mississippi.
That's good. It's always a good thing.
2011 also marked it where David Allen Coe was in court. What went on? Well, David Allen was in a casino. He's standing there and he wins something, and security guards come up to him and tell him to do something. Well, he says that he can't hear very well. Next thing you know, David Allen was tackled and cuffed and stuffed, and he was suing the casino because they tackled him.
Yeah.
And they approved for him to continue with the lawsuit after that. His claim was he didn't understand their orders of what they were telling him to do.
Oh.
They will cuff and stuff you in those areas there if you don't do what they tell you to. I remember Donald Trump a few weeks prior to this, maybe it was a month or so, maybe a little longer, saying, I offer $1 million to anybody that can come up with a birth certificate to a guy up in the White House named Barack Obama. Do y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of ways to look at this. Here it is. That's what happened. And he released the birth certificate on this date.
Where did it, I can't even remember where it said he was born.
Kenya.
Yeah.
Because, he's got a brother over there that is from there. And they say that he was, I don't know the real truth to it. Y'all all well know, as well as I do, the President of the United States will have one that's valid. Does not matter. They were not going to release something that was not. But Donald did not have to pay the $1 million at the end of the story is what happened.
So can you be a president of the United States legally if you were not born in the United States?
You got to be born.
So how how?
That's why I said that birth certificate was going to.
Right, I know, but I wonder how.
Hawaii is where he says he'd come from. So, but there was a large controversy on that for the longest on that.
Yeah, I remember all the controversy.
It's for the most part been put to bed. That hadn't been brought up since then. It just kind of faded away. And left those to believe whatever they want to on the matter.
Yeah. Had that been somebody else, it would have never went away.
No, it would haunt you.
We'd still be talking about it every day.
But yet, this week, they've made big money off of these podcasts that they're doing. They're going to be switching. Spotify has been covering it. They'll switch to a new one. But the one that is cashed in the most on all of this stuff, celebrity stuff, would have to be the little British people, Meghan. What do they call that? Meghan X. Where they exited Britain?
I don't know, but Meghan Markle and Harry.
But they've made the most out of everything. The money is there, and she seized the moment. And one day you will wake up, and y'all mark my word, he will be without a wife. That will come. He will not have a family then either because of all this that's gone on.
She won't be without a check of him.
No, she's done well off this. She's played it to the T.
Yeah.
I just figure in the long run that will happen there.
Maybe so. I don't know.
He was, as I got a text, he was born in Hawaii. Talking about, yep. Here we go. Let's talk about our friends over here at Snowden and Company. They got a lot to offer you. They're good people. They help you out when you're buying a home or selling a home, whether you're looking at forever home or if your family's expanding, you got more kids and you know what to do with. Got to have an extra bedroom? Talk to them. Tell them as the housing market is kind of tight, they'll find the house for you. When it comes available, they'll call you. They'll be ready to make that move for you. Handle all that paperwork. They're going to be there through 5 this afternoon. They'll be closed on Saturday, and they'll help you out from here all the way over to the Jackson area. taking care of Clark, Neshoba, Kemper. As I said, Madison, Flowood, you need a home, see them. They'll help you. This is just a few of the homes that they offer. You can see more at SnowdenRealEstate.com. If you want just land to build what you want or maybe put a double wide on, they can find that for you. Whatever the case is, they're there to help you out. Drop in and visit them. They're easy to locate there. You'll find them in Poplar Springs right up there at their office there. 5001 is where they'll be. See her. She'll be there to help you out. Amanda, a certified real estate negotiating expert, seller, representative, and her entire staff. They do so much for the community. See why so many people trust them. There's a reason for it, without a doubt.
One of the most important places to you is your home. That's why Patrick Allen Companies is proud to provide style, functionality, and security to your home. There's nothing quite like a well-designed overhead garage door or vinyl replacement windows, or the safety of a storm shelter to help your family feel protected. Patrick Allen offers doors and windows for commercial and industrial with dozens of innovative designs. Patrick Allen Companies, safety, service, and satisfaction.
H&H Residential of Meridian is your #1 carpet and flooring store. If you've been thinking of a new look for your home or office, call for a free estimate or consultation. H&H can install or you can do it yourself. H&H has all of your design needs from color, style, and texture. If you can dream it, H&H can make it a reality. Come see the large selection of hardwood flooring, laminate, vinyl, and even carpet. H&H Residential of Meridian, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, 321 Hawkins Crossing Road. Call Rosemary anytime, 601-462-9541.
I've lived in Mississippi my entire life. The people of Mississippi are my people. So when someone from here comes to me for help, I take that personally. Always have, always will. One call, that's all.
Need to correct myself, as I did say that about Kenya a moment ago. He was born in Hawaii. It was claimed that he was born in Kenya is where I got that in my head. We're talking about Obama, so I did have that kind of backwards there. Straighten out what I can when I make a mistake. So something to keep in mind. Look, this happened at a Family Dollar to a shoplifter. Just not good on this at all, but they had a worker there that shot a shoplifter in the back, emptied the clip on him, killed him.
My goodness.
It was all over a can of motor oil. A little too serious there as we look around what happened across the nation there. That was in Houston, Texas is where that went down. He's being charged with murder, and rightly so. You don't do that.
That's awful. I mean, it's wrong to steal, but to be
murdered over a can of motor oil, they could have handled that a whole lot differently.
Lock the door and don't let them out and call the cops.
DeSantis is making history this morning as it finds out, and we're talking Ron DeSantis from Florida. He has broken every record over any other governor in the state. He raised $105 million for re-election. $105 million. None of the others have ever raised that much money. Jeb, did you hear that? Just wanted to make sure if Jeb was watching this morning, he knew that.
Oh, goodness.
And majority of people saying it's all about the Disney thing, where people are fed up with it.
Right.
I even saw where a judge in Texas was trying to tempt Disney to move their headquarters. They're not going to do that. Too expensive.
Well, they've already started bashing DeSantis, the left has started bashing, saying that he is trying to keep, certain people from voting and just all kind of mess. I mean, it's already started.
It is. As we look at headlines of Biden, he's disapproved in 40. We got 50 states in the United States. 40 say he's not doing a good job. 40 states. What does that tell you about an election?
Imagine that. Yeah.
Kamala has tested positive for COVID.
I'd heard that she was not showing any symptoms, but that she had tested positive. I guess because I had seen where Jen Psaki said that they routinely test them all the time, and I guess she happened to test positive.
Yeah.
But I don't wish that on anybody.
No, miserable. Hey, we got a message there from Margie that said it was Mr. Ziffel that had the pig, Arnold the pig. So we were a little wrong on that also.
Okay.
Thank y'all for keeping us honest.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that.
As we dig back into Joe Biden, they're saying that, there's $5 million, 5.2, this unexplained income that he has. Anybody think that a computer might tell us where that money come from? Just saying. maybe we'll find out more about that. And what are you doing with inflation? It is skyrocketing right now. The cost of beef is 20% more than it was a year ago. We're looking at 13% on eggs and chicken. And people, one of the things that they're saying, instead of buying like leg quarters, they're buying whole chickens because it's a little cheaper to buy it as a whole, and cutbacks that people are having to do because groceries have shot up.
Well, I tell you another thing, like the big pork loins, you know, I've seen people like cut them in quarters, you know, like fourth them. And because it's like buying the smaller ones, but it's cheaper.
To buy the whole slab.
Yeah, and cut it. I mean, I think everybody's going to have to get kind of creative, you know, with their saving money tactics, because stuff like that, like we just talked about, and I mean, you can vacuum pack those. If you have one of those vacuum packers, you know, you can vacuum pack them and put them in the freezer. They'll last a while. So
we are expected for prices to go up next year. Is what everyone is projecting that it will rise next year. We'll see what happens with that.
I know gardens too. I've heard a lot of people talking about doing gardens this year.
Yeah, I want to see you in one.
I can garden. I bought tomato plants the other day. We just haven't put them out yet. So
they're probably gonna die sitting on this doorstep.
No, they're not. Yeah. No, we had a big garden about the year before last, I think. Really too big. It was more than we could even work on with everything else we're having to do. But I love the garden.
There's a lot of work in that, and I think a lot of folks that are watching remember as kids that if you didn't garden, you didn't eat.
But I'm so glad that I learned how to do that kind of stuff. I learned how to put things up, you know, and preserve it.
Right.
Canned tomatoes. I mean, I learned how to do all that. So
they've made a big arrest in Alabama. This goes back to a murder that happened in 2001. It was a truck driver that killed an Alabama lady back in 2001. He killed her and put her into her suitcase. They have linked him to it. She was 41-year-old Janet Luxford back in the day. They have made an arrest. DNA can do so much with these. Glad they finally caught him.
Yes. Twisted people in the world.
It is. Let's see. There was a car theft in California. It was a 3-month-old baby in the car when it was stolen. They have found the baby safely. That's some good news as we look at this.
Yes.
Glad to see that happen there also.
Scary.
They come out. Loretta Lynn made headlines years ago with a song called The Pill. Do y'all remember that?
I've heard of it. I don't know that I've listened to it. But.
Radio stations banned it because, well, you couldn't talk about things like that when that come out. But she put the song out there and it made a hit, The Pill. Well, they're coming out with a pill for men nowadays. It's called the male contraceptive, and you take a pill, and they say in mice, it works 99% of the time. Just thought you might want to know. Yeah. You walk around
But that
humming.
1%.
Yeah.
You got to look out for.
I'm 54 and I've got a 3-month-old.
That'd be awful.
That happens. I see that come about too. Pat Boone says that America is being destroyed. That's the headline he puts out because they're making immoral movies. And I think a lot of people would agree with Pat Boone on that. Yeah. And I know there's an audience watching now that go, okay, who is Pat Boone? He's an older star. He was in a lot of things, but he does make sense. There's a lot of things that to where, as we talk about shows that shouldn't use cuss words, it would be just as good without it. Yeah. Yellowstone being one of those. If they just take that out, it'd be a lot better. But it is a part of America, and they don't seem to change on any of this at this point.
Well, I mean, when you have companies like Disney doing the things and promoting the stuff that they want to promote now, I mean, they're starting with the children, moving up. You know?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. As you're getting ready for lunch, what's going to happen? Well, Maple's One Stop Shop has got it up as we turn to see what they're going to serve for lunch today. We go to the 31st Avenue Daily, and what they're going to have: pork chops, mac and cheese, black-eyed peas, turnip greens, and also green beans along with cornbread. You get all that and a thing or two with tea for $8.99. Drop in and see that. You get a meat and 2 vegetables. Real good deal there. Also, as you go out to Causeyville, anybody go out that way? Yeah, y'all got a lot going on in Causeyville as we look at their menu today.
They have a tater tot casserole. That sounds good. Collard greens, black-eyed peas, green beans. Then you have your choice of fountain tea or roll and cornbread.
There you go. That's all happening there. Maple's one-stop shop. They have a little bit of everything for you, from cold drinks to lunch. See them today. You'll be glad that you dropped in and visited with them.
Let me go back.
What'd you
Fountain tea is not that does not exist.
Fountain drink.
A fountain drink or tea, and then a roll of cornbread.
She thought about it.
I was reading it, and I was like, that don't even make sense. Anyway. Yeah.
That's what's happening this morning. Welcome. Glad to have you along.
Spring is here, and it's time to quit spending all of your weekend cutting grass when you could step up to a Skag zero-turn mower. Freeman Tractor in Collinsville has the #1 rated zero-turn mower, Skag, with cutting widths from 36 inches to 72 inches. Skag, the #1 choice of professional landscapers because they know nothing outcuts or outlasts a Skag. 0% financing for 48 months with payments starting as low as $129 a month. Stop by Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 and see coleslaw or buttermilk.
If you or a loved one has been in a serious car accident, call attorney Richard Schwartz and Associates.
We'll come to you, work to get you the right medical care, and fight to get you every dollar you deserve. One call, that's all.
Call attorney Richard Schwartz and Associates today.
Welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace on this gorgeous morning, as we're going to have sunshine in 75. The Republican National Committee has voted, and it's a pretty strong vote here, to withdraw from the presidential debate panel as they now have it. As you'll remember, there was a controversy the last time that they had one that they couldn't agree on terms.
Right.
So maybe it'll get better if they back out and new terms will be made. As I lose my voice for some reason.
Yeah.
It went away for a moment. But that's what's happening with the Republicans there as they vote on that. All right, as we glance around, I think we've all done this before. I've been out at Tyson's before as Sophie was getting ready to go back for whatever it was that she needed. And they say that they've done studies on this, and puppy dogs' heart rates double while they're in the waiting room as they go down that hall to the doctor.
Yeah. Look, I have seen these little dogs. They are so nervous in the waiting area. And some of them get aggressive, and most of them cling to their owners. I know Kurt said when he takes our labs, he has to pull them, because they're so big, you can't pick them up now. He has to pull them into the.
They don't want to go.
No. Now we now have my daughter's lab that she had. We're taking care of her now, but she's real laid back. And Kurt said she just went on in there and. She's just, easily.
Most dogs even get to where they don't like the vehicle that you drive them to the vet in. They can see it. Like if you got a truck that you take them, they don't want to be near that truck ever again.
Our little Dachshund that we've had for 19 years, she's always been a nervous dog when she had to go to the vet. She knew if she got in the car, she was going to the vet because that's really the only time she ever rode in the car. So
that's the way dogs. They're smarter than you think.
She's not a good traveler.
Well, and we go out to Colorado next. There's been an arrest made. I can't read the headline because, as I've mentioned before, there's people that write things these days that use ugly words in it. But a Colorado lawmaker, his name is Matt Gray, showed up to pick his kids up at school. Well, turns out he might have been drinking.
Goodness.
And as police questioned him, he went on to say words that we can't repeat to the cops about who he was and how important he was. They still cuffed and stuffed him, and away he went for drinking and driving. You can't be doing that. Sad thing. Sad that things like that happen there. Let's see of a few other stories that are coming across America this morning. That was that story. I've run across that several times here. Apple, this is a good feel-good story. The president, as we go, you pronounce his name Zelensky? As we look at Ukraine, has been visiting hospitals of the children that lost their parents. And as he's been doing this, he's been handing out iPads to the children that lost their parents.
Very nice.
He seems to be a pretty good fella. Trump is being fined. I don't know if everybody's up on this. A judge is fining him $10,000 a day in New York now. He will be charged that until his legal team provides them for everything that they've asked for. Into the tax probe, where he says he's not going to give it. A judge is fining him $10,000 a day. How long will it take before they hand over it? Probably pretty quick. That'll add up before you know it.
Yeah.
We want to say thank y'all for coming by.
Yes, we appreciate you each and every day coming on, making your comments, and telling us good morning and helping us out when we don't know something. That happens daily. But we do hope you have a wonderful day. It's a pretty day, and if you have to go to work, maybe you can get off early. Enjoy the day.
See you tomorrow morning, bright and early.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: